Like, what is your opinion on like the Fresh and Fit podcast, whatever podcast, like all these podcasts, like there seems to be like a very popular thing on social media movements right now where it's like a counterculture to feminism. It's counterfeminism, and it actually seems like they're just trashing women in general.
So women have to think about, are you dealing with that kind of man? You're dealing with the man that you respect on the level that you respect your dad, if you have a respectable dad, right? Not just he's hot, he's sexy, he's swag. What does that have to do?
He makes me feel some kind of way and we have chemistry.
Right, but this is the Matrix. If you think about it, in 1950s and 60s, was there this swaggy image out there for women to be like, oh, you started seeing like the rock stars, the Elvis, or Arthur Fonzarelli on Happy Days, right? Now all of a sudden the alpha swaggy male becomes the thing, and now the dad in Happy Days, he's just boring, he's just dry. So they started planting those messages, and now we look up post Disney. On one hand, every girl thinks she's a princess and deserves like the best prince and the alpha super swaggy guy. And then they all think that that's who they should be going after. And they're not realizing, A, it's not realistic, but B, those traits that we're putting out there is like these ultimate masculine fantasy. And the funny part is, it used to be back in the day, girls did that. You're a teenager, you didn't know any better. Or maybe by the time you got to your early 20s. But this stuff is going on all throughout, where they're still late 30s chasing these toxic dudes until the point where they have outrun a lot of their market value, especially if you want a good man who wants a family. You're not even able to give him 2 or 3 kids at this point, chasing the wrong kind of a thing, and same for men. It over glamorizes women's physical beauty, their sexiness and all these other things, but is she gonna take care of you? She's gonna be nurturing. She's gonna, when you come home, you're gonna be able to put your head in her chest, and she's gonna care about how you feel. You're gonna get that nice home cooked meal where, without saying anything, she knows what you like and she's already got it prepared for you. The kind of stuff that makes you have that energy, like you talked about. You're Elon laid out on the floor, but you got somebody that will ride with you and just knows how to hold you down. Man, what guy doesn't want that? But instead, we're chasing big button smile, the chick that's hard to get or whatever else, and it's just.
It occurred to me the other day I don't know if you watch like the Whatever podcast or Fresh and Fit. It's the ones where like that, where it's just the 2 guys who are the hosts, and then they just surround the table with like
Fresh and Fit,
gorgeous women.
Yeah.
I was looking at that, and it occurred to me the other day. I'm like, in my 20s, I would have rated like all those chicks a 10, but I'm like 3, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3. Okay, that one's a 7. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it depends on what context. If you're talking about recreational use, yeah. But if you're talking about like, I want to have a girlfriend or wife material.
Yeah, no. Like girlfriend, wife material is 0, 0, 0, 0.
Okay, even recreational.
Even recreational. So, speaking of which, I did want to ask you, like, what is your opinion on like the Fresh and Fit podcast, whatever podcast, like all these podcasts, like there seems to be like a very popular thing on social media movements right now where it's like a counterculture to feminism. It's counterfeminism, and a lot of them are talking about like red pill this, and a lot of the content, I'll be honest, it actually seems like they're just trashing women in general really hard, and part of me agrees with it, but a part of me also has a bit of a problem with.
Really glad you brought this up, because I consider myself to be in the red pill space, which means, like in Matrix, you no longer just in this simp world, in this I don't know why things aren't working, and have no clue about female nature. So really it just means you've been awoken to know modern women, modern feminism, as we like to say, because we don't want to get YouTube. It's not good.
I've got 500 subscribers. I'm not worried.
That's today. After this one, we're blowing up. But it's the realization that it's not working. Whatever we've been doing, it's not working, and both sides need to change some things. And I'm always one to be balanced. But the female side is the one that's way away from the original model, right? It's way away from tradition. And there's not even a clue of what they're supposed to be bringing. And when we bring up what they should be bringing, it's like you're told you're backing up, right, whatever. But again, they don't understand these concepts like servant leadership and mutual submission. So I think there's a great place for these shows, and it shows that they're so popular because a lot of these guys, they only had 500 subscribers a few years ago, right? And they have blown up. Why? Because there's so many men who, like us, are frustrated. You know, traditional men who want to have families, who want to have serious girlfriends that turn into wives. It's hard to find the counterbalance. It's hard to find a reciprocal sort of energy. And they do a great job of educating men. So I love that part. They do a great job of esteeming men, helping men to know their value. They do a great job of helping men to see what kind of stupid things that we're doing that we're, at the end of the day, people only do to you what you allow them to. So there's a great place for that. But to your point, they're part of the purveyors of overemphasizing the masculine energy and devaluing the feminine energy. They're talking about men want this, but they say it in a way where it's like demeaning to a woman to say, okay, yes, you're a little bit more emotionally led. Well, there's a place for that. There's certain situations where you need someone to bring that influence, right? You need the Pippin effect over here. Everything can't be Jordan. So that's the part that I think is detrimental. The other part is just
correct. Because I feel, sorry to cut you off.
No, please. This is a conversation, man.
Yeah, because like I find myself like when I watch too much of that stuff, I end up hating women, and I'm like, this is not correct.